In today's video, you're going to find out why a lot of people are thinking about leaving Thailand and complaining about Thailand online. The first complaint is about the overcrowding and, the amount of people there are in certain areas around Thailand during the high season. It is very, very exceptionally busy during some areas, and this does really annoy people, especially expats and retirees living here full time, year round. Then, over-tourism can be annoying in certain places, especially in the hub, like in central Hua Hin, in central Pattaya, in central Phuket. There is mass tourism in these places. This creates kind of a loss of authentic experience in Thailand. I think that's what a lot of people are talking about now. The authenticity in certain areas, especially in the tourist areas, guys, is lost. So, some people are choosing to move out of those areas. Locals can also get annoyed with the amount of tourists there. It is their country, and then suddenly it's taken over by tourists. It must be slightly annoying for them, I think. And I think that probably does get on their nerves a little bit. They maybe behave differently to foreigners as locals would in another area around Thailand. And there's also, a lot of negative tourist behavior. People getting really drunk, doing stupid things. There's been lots of videos online about different things. The next would be the rising cost, especially in the tourist areas, guys. Thailand's cost of living has gone up, and I've said it on a few videos now about this. It's not as cheap as it used to be back 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. Food, accommodation, taxis, everything's slightly going up, guys. So, you need to prepare for that if you're coming over to Thailand. There is what they call a double pricing system. This does annoy a lot of people that live over here. So, foreigners will pay a higher price for certain things in some tourist areas, like, for example, national parks, where a foreigner has to pay 400 baht, where a Thai person would be paying 40 baht. So there's a massive difference there. But this actually does happen in many, many countries around the world, and quite a few of you have pointed this out already, that, this isn't actually that big a deal. But a lot of foreigners make a massive deal about this, guys, over here, and complain constantly about this online. People are also saying it's not the cheap paradise it used to be. They're saying Thailand used to be a paradise, and it's not anymore. It's not as cheap. It's definitely, certainly a paradise still, for sure. Our costs gone up, for sure. It's not as cheap as it was. That's true. But so is everywhere in the world. Everywhere is going up slightly. People are moaning about, Thailand's not as cheap now. I'm going to be moving to another country, maybe Vietnam or the Philippines, guys. So your value of money has dropped compared to other countries because of the strong baht. I've said on another video, the baht is very, very strong at the moment. So if you're transferring money over here, that does affect how much, baht you're going to get. I think you can get more scams, especially in real tourist areas. There have been reports of a few extra scams going on in certain real tourist hubs. And this is why I always recommend, not to live in that complete central area in each tourist little town. Cleanliness, I think this is a big one. I really noticed on Pattaya Beach, after a Saturday night or something, if you go out walking early in the morning, there's a lot of rubbish about. They do have cleaners, but, it takes a bit of time. There's a hell of a lot of people partying on a Saturday night, a Friday night in some of these cities. So, there is quite a bit of rubbish produced. And then, the cleaners are there, but it takes time a little bit. And if you're an early riser like myself and get up early, go for a run along the beach, there is litter there because people, sit on the beach, they drink on the beach, they eat on the beach, and unfortunately they leave litter on the beach, which is a real shame. Just make sure you don't do that if you're yourself sitting on the beach. It's an awful thing to do. And I see quite a few people doing this in Thailand. There's a lot of sewage and pollution in some people, especially in Pattaya, are moaning about, they pump out the water, the sewage into the sea, in certain areas. People are moaning about this online. I don't know how true this is. Someone maybe know about this a bit more than I do. There is reports. Yes, they have to get rid of the sewage. Where it actually goes, I'm not sure exactly. Hopefully it doesn't all go into the sea. But some people moan about this, there are drains leading into the sea. But yeah, that's something maybe some of you can comment on here. Maybe you know a bit more than I do about that. I think a lot of digital nomads, retirees are complaining about, the visa situation. It's constantly changing. frequent rule changes. And I'll just say that I've lived here 15 years and this is normal. This is what happens in Thailand. The visas are continuously changing, adapting. There's new rules. This is Thailand. Welcome to Thailand. Nothing has changed there in my eyes, even though everyone still moans about this all the time. People complaining about the 90-day ruling, where you have to report every 90 days. I think this has got better because now we can do it all online, guys. So we're doing it online. Well, I don't know about you guys, but you should be doing it online because you don't have to go to immigration office then. Yeah, it doesn't always work first time, but if you try a couple of times, it works then, guys. Some people are reporting like petty theft. I think it's in certain areas, guys, real kind of tourist central areas, Sukhumvit Road or real central Pattaya or something, around Walking Street, these kind of areas, where there are a lot of concentration of tourists together. I mean, wherever you get a lot of concentration of tourists, there's always like, little petty crime. So you have to be a little bit more vigilant. That's just common sense. Safety concerns in Pattaya's nightlife district, you have to be a little bit careful, but I mean that is common sense. It is the biggest red light district in the world in Pattaya, so if you're going out at night there, you do have to be a little bit wary, because of this reason. I think the global reputation is changing because of social media, guys. Social media has a big impact on the world, and there are thousands of YouTubers throughout Asia, but especially in Thailand, making money online from negative stories, guys. Saying real extreme stories about Thailand, exaggerating things, making things look quieter or busier just to suit the video, by certain camera angles, manipulating it. And this is happening in Thailand, and I think this happens all around the world with news and stories, but particularly in Thailand, a lot of people living here making money online doing this. So you have to be very careful who you choose to watch on YouTube. Try and choose someone who's very authentic and who's telling you the truth about Thailand, guys. I think there's entitlement from the tourists. They kind of expect too much. They know Thailand's cheap and they come here and they're like, why aren't you reducing the price down to this? I thought we could barter in Thailand. And it's like, it's not that cheap anymore. It is everything has a price. You can't barter down that much. Oh, guys, if you're just enjoying this video, can you press the subscribe button? It's free, guys. It just helps the channel out. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subs before Christmas, guys. Thanks. And back to the video. Saying all that, is Thailand really this bad? Well, in my opinion, no. I mean, I've just given you all the facts that people talk about online. And, this is real. This is what people are talking about. But, I mean, people just generally are moaning about everything, and just, if things change, if things not as quite as good as they used to be, people moan about it. Yes, has Thailand got some problems? Yes, of course it has. Has it got some great things about it? Yeah, absolutely. There's still some great experiences to be had here in Thailand. It just depends on your own mindset. If you come here with a positive mindset, then, Thailand for me is an awesome place. I've had no problems here. It's been great to me. I've got nothing to complain about. And I think it's my mindset. And I think a lot of people's mindset is just negative. So they just find the negative in this country because they're living here full time. And I'm sure if they lived in the UK or in America or in Australia, they would have the same attitude. They would be moaning about the country. So what do you think, guys? Do you think it's really that bad? Come on, let's get it going in the comments. What do you think about Thailand? Is it not as good as it used to be? Is it still as good? What things really annoy you about living in Thailand, guys? Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.